microphone in, y'all. Hold on 1 minute. I don't know what's going on with my lights because this is the first time I tried to use it in this setup. Y'all give me 1 second. Ooh, we gotta talk. We gotta talk, y'all. We have to talk. Do you understand? We are in some powerful energy. Y'all give me 1 second. My apologies. All right, I hope that's better. I hope you all are able to hear me. Peace, peace, peace. Listen. Oh my goodness. Hold on, y'all. I'm not gonna worry about this because sometimes when I be trying to worry about it, I be overly distracted. All right, welcome. I'm so glad to be here, you guys. I know it's late for some of us, but I really just wanted to pop in. Happy full moon in Scorpio, and listen, I'm gonna tell you what prompted me to come on up in here, and I'm gonna make this one quick. But let me just say, change is here. Opportunity is here. Now, y'all know me, I can't just kind of jump into it, even when I be trying to just jump into it. That's typically not the type of person and the type of way that I explain things. So, first of all, if it's your first time here, welcome. I hope you'll come back. And if you're returning, welcome. Welcome back. Glad to see you again. Feel free to share any feedback, like, share, and subscribe. All right, so, and I'm Moon, and let's get to it. All right, so I really wanted to tap into this energy because we are in the full moon in Scorpio energy. Now, the full moon came in today at its peak around, I believe it was like 12:26 or 12:56. Can't remember, forgive me, this afternoon Eastern Standard Time. But we are very much still so in the energy. So I, in, in perfect full moon, in perfect full moon energy, of course, there was some things that came left field today that kind of threw some things out of whack. So I'm a little late coming on here. However, I'm here. So earlier when I came in, y'all know I'm gonna segue into this, but earlier when I came in, I decided I was going to actually pull a few cards to get the energy of this full moon and see what was happening. I had not yet looked at the chart, but I'm going to tell you what came out. There was a King of Swords, the Emperor, the King of Cups, the Tower, and the Fool. Now, if anyone is familiar in tarot land with those energies, you already know. And this is what prompted me to really look at the chart because I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening? Hold on, this energy. And I had already been sensing that the energy was going to be super powerful. And that's why I put that in the title. Like, if you've been feeling that a shift is on the way, that a change was coming, this message is definitely for you. Because I'm going to tell you something, for the last like week or so, a little bit over a week, I was definitely feeling that something is coming in, something is coming in. And I said to a good friend of mine, I said, I feel like this is a portal opening. I was like, I'm going to use this energy. Now, just really quickly, it's not beyond me to use the full moon in Scorpio or the new moon in Scorpio, fixed signs, period, because I am a Scorpio rising. So those fixed signs, anytime there's something significant happening, is on my main axis. They're on my angular houses, and you tend to feel those houses just a little bit more personally, or I don't want to say personally, that's not really the right word, but you feel it, it's more pronounced in your life, so to speak. And so, anyway, with me being a Scorpio rising, I had already known, okay, I'm going to definitely use this energy. It's a couple of things I want to do, it's a couple of things I'm trying to pull in. So, I'm going to take full advantage of this energy. And I kept on telling people, look, we're coming into this very powerful full moon. use this energy. You can use it, you know what I mean, to help kind of propel you forward. But I that was something that I was just sensing in my spirit. I had not yet looked at the chart and really paid attention to what was going on. So today, when I pulled that little 5 card spread, just trying to get an overall read of the energy, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, this is basically saying there's something that's coming in here, but it has the ability to put you on the precipice of a brand new beginning, to propel you forward. But if you get caught up in the rhetoric of what has taken place, you know, there's a because when I saw the King of Swords, I was like, oh, there's a need for clarity. And then when I saw the King of Cups, I was like, oh, there's a need to be emotionally balanced. Do you hear me? And use your emotional maturity, so to speak, um, in order to get to where we're trying to go. So let me tell y'all what happened when I looked at the chart. Immediately when I looked at the chart, I was like, oh, because of course the full moon was at 22 degrees Scorpio across the sky. That's what makes it a full moon, across from the 22-degree sun. We're currently in Taurus season, so the full moon is going to be in the opposite sign typically. And so, with that 22-degree sun. But what I did not account for, or maybe had not paid as much attention to, is that the sun is at 22 degrees Taurus, and Uranus is at 27 degrees Taurus. That's within the 5 degree engagement range. And if you know anything about Taurus is, excuse me, if you know anything about Uranus is all about the element of surprise. Sometimes things can happen that kind of, it's a jolt. So it can take you off guard. It can come sort of out of left field. A lot of times with Uranian energy, you don't see it coming. You know what I mean? And so, with that full moon hitting that sun and that Uranus, there is the propensity for something to happen that can take you off your square. Because think about it, Taurus is a stable, sturdy, earth fixed energy. But hitting with the full moon though, hitting that Uranus, and that Uranus is in Taurus, sitting right there with the sun. It has the ability to shake your foundation, right? And so when I was looking at it, I was like, oh wow. Oh wow, this is, you know what I mean, this is, okay. So I see that. So I'm like, okay, so that explains the tower, right? That's this tower is your Uranian energy. That's Uranus, the tower. So that explained that. I'm like, oh, okay, so something is coming in and it can really shake you up. It can make you lose your footing. You know what I mean? It can take you out of your stability, so to speak, right? So when I looked again, though, it was something really interesting because the Sun in Uranus does not perfect, I think, until the end of the week sometimes. That's when it's probably going to be the most illuminated. Or that's when you're going to have the full picture, maybe, of what has taken place under this full moon. Not the full picture, but you'll have the sun brings clarity. And so when the sun touches that Uranus, it's going to illuminate, so to speak, more of what is happening here, right? But when I looked, I said, oh, but guess what? That sun and that Uranus is in a sextile to the North Node that's in Pisces. Now, if you're not familiar with North Node energy is about where in Western traditional Western astrology, it's more about where we're moving toward, where your soul wants to evolve to. So in your personal chart, it's more about your individual soul's journey. But when you're talking about as a collective, where are we moving to as a collective, right? So when I saw that Uranus and that sun was sextile in the North Node in Pisces, what it told me is that whatever this shift is coming in, that has the propensity to shake your footing, there's an opportunity there. Because anytime you talk about a sextile, you're talking about an opportunity, but it's not as free flowing as, let's say, a trine. So with the sextile, you have to take some kind of action towards it. You have to do something to actually take advantage of the opportunity to move it forward, right? And so when I saw that sextiling that north node, I was like, ding, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity here. Whatever it is that comes in and shakes the ground is going to open up an opportunity for you to move forward for what you should be moving or what your soul wants to move towards now in this time. Hear me when I say that if you allow, however, if you allow the shakeup to take over, you could miss the opening and the opportunity. And this is why I was feeling like there's some kind of portal here. There's something that you can move through that can kind of propel you forward. But number one, you're going to have to act on it. And number two, you're going to have a sense of clarity and emotional insight and emotional intelligence to kind of get through it. If you allow yourself to be overwhelmed with what it is that occurs that brings in that shake that kind of pulls the rug from under your feet, so to speak, then you could definitely kind of miss, or yeah, you can miss out on the opportunity, that opening, that whatever that thing is. And now it's going to be different for everybody. It depends on where these energies are in your chart. So wherever you have that last deacon, let's say 20 to 29 degrees um, of Scorpio, of Taurus, and then it's also going to be prominent for, of course, where Aquarius and Leo as well. That's not as much, but it will impact. You know what I mean? And so, listen, don't allow whatever comes in, and it and do not allow whatever it is to get you so off your square that you miss the opportunity. When I pulled the cards and then I looked at the chart, it made sense as to why they were saying King of Swords, King of Cups, because you're gonna have to clear out the clutter and be clear. You're gonna have to clear out whatever the mess or the debris or the aftermath or whatever it is around what has fallen out, and you're gonna also have to and need to tap into your intuition and be emotionally balanced to see the opportunity clearly so that you can act on it. And so I'm telling you guys that, and I didn't like dissect the full chart. It's more, of course, going on in there, but it's what caught my attention first when I opened it up, because my spirit said, well, look at the chart. And when I opened it up, I was like, oh, it looked like a little tube sitting right in the middle, like you could just jump through. I was like, oh, what is that? You know what I mean? And so, very interesting energy. Listen, this is what I'm urging you to do. You don't have to. I ain't, whatever. But take advantage of this energy, because we also have energies moving through Aries. This also gives you the opportunity to act on whatever it is. This is like, I kept saying, kind of like the world card, like brand new cycle. Like you have the opportunity to jump through here and jump into a brand new cycle. Use this energy. Under full moons, I normally do not suggest, or I normally don't talk about setting intentions under full moon. Typically, the full moon is a culmination point, a point to release, a point to acknowledge something, uh, along the lines of that, something like that. But absolutely, under this energy, though, what I would say, like for this one, you can break the rules a little bit, because there is, and I'm not going to say necessarily for intention setting, but there is the ability to hop into something new here, to open up, and it'll be like one of those things where like everything just shifted perfectly for you to get in there at that time. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important that you're clear, because if you're not clear, you can easily miss it. So that full moon was actually today, but y'all, we're going to be in this energy for a couple of days. Um, we're going to be in this energy for a couple of days. The Sun and Uranus will come into a conjunction in a few days, probably like maybe Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure when it perfects. Forgive me because I wasn't really, this is impromptu, so I didn't like go do my due diligence with everything in reference to that, but I do feel like it was important to say that. So with that, I'm not going to stay on here long. I just wanted to jump in and give that information. Listen, if you're looking for something to do, I always tell people the best rituals are those that come from an, an internal space. No one can give you something better than your higher self can tell you to do, if that makes sense. But the energies we're working with here are water and earth. We but let me tell you something about Scorpio. Scorpio modern ruler is water, is Pluto, transformation. But the traditional ruler is Mars, and that's fire. And so there is an opportunity to work with fire here as well. Um, I hope that this, y'all, I hope this helped somebody. I just really wanted to come in here. Excuse me, I really wanted to come in here and just share because I was excited when I knew I had been feeling that something was coming. I just had not really sat down and looked at the chart. So, um, what I'm saying is hopefully this brings you some clarity or gives you some understanding. And also, I think a lot of times when things come, because there's going to be, especially if you have like fixed energy, there's going to be something that comes that's going to jolt a little bit. It may be unexpected. If it didn't happen, over the last couple of days, it will happen over the next over the next couple of days. I know with me, I typically feel things a little earlier, but that Uranian energy just comes out of nowhere, and it kind of makes you have to shift and adapt, and in the sign of Taurus, possibly rebuild, right? But the opportunity is there. You just got to tap into it. I'm feeling led to pull a card, so give me a minute, y'all. Let me see. Um, I was gonna pull from the start, but let's do an oracle from Secrets of the Ancestors. I like this. This is where I pulled from earlier. Um, one of the decks I pulled from earlier. So let's just see what it do. Okay, see what come out. Alright, one more card for the collective. What do we have for the collective? One card for the collective under this full moon in Scorpio energy that we are currently in. What can the collective benefit from knowing at this time? It can help them on this journey. Y'all, if you can get out by water, too, put your feet on the ground. But absolutely, if you can get out by water in this energy, it's going to be good. You can kill two birds with one stone. You get out by water and put your feet on the ground. Grounding is important during this time frame, especially with this Uranus energy that's coming in this one. And so you definitely want to stay grounded. Wait a second. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. One card for two cards under this energy, please. We have full moon in Scorpio. Thank you. Let's see what it is. Can Can you all see that? Root of Earth. It says inspired action. Um, Listen, it's a number 38, and 38, listen, and 38 breaks down to an 11, right? And I always talk about 11 being like a portal. It's like a gateway, y'all, root of earth. Um, I think this is the equivalent to an Ace of Pentacles. Let me check though, because that could definitely be that opportunity that we're talking about coming in. So let me go ahead and read this real quick, okay? Root of Earth, inspired action. Listen, do you really want it, or do you want to continue to woulda coulda? You must take advantage of the opportunities that are presenting themselves. You are in the beginning stages of something great. Be careful not to overcommit to too many things and too many people. Plant your seeds and stay grounded. You are a good student. There may be education related news. Roots Root spirits are message bearers. Good financial news is on the way. The ancestral memory says the root of earth is reliable plant ancestor spirit High John the Conqueror. Scientific name Ipomea purga. Yeah, I hope I said that correctly. He honors the physical world and is deeply connected to the earth and nature. The formerly enslaved man known as High John the Conqueror is a hero of many stories. Some say he was a captured African prince, and to others, he was a trickster. One thing is certain, he always outwitted everyone. In hoodoo practice, his root brings power, luck, money, and protection. The ancestral medicine says root of the earth is focused and loyal with a sense of humor. No matter what, this ancestral energy remains unbroken. To honor this energy, stop sitting on your ideas, take the next step. In the shadow aspect, which we didn't get it, but I'm gonna read it because maybe a couple of you all might be in the shadow energy. It says in the shadow aspect is stagnant, stale, and stuck, distracted, blah. That's the feeling. Sometimes we learn even more from failure than success. It's either time to try again or abandon ship. Only you know. The tarot correspondence is the Page of Pentacles, and the declaration is good news follows me. So it's not the Ace of Pentacles, it is the energy of the Page of Pentacles. And this is a seeding point. It talked about staying grounded, staying rooted and grounded, and also acting on opportunities. So this is definitely in alignment with what I was just speaking about in this energy. So that's something that you all want to be aware of, okay? All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I've been on here for too long. I am grateful for you all, whoever stops by. Um, and also whoever watches the replay. I hope there was something in here for you. That is my highest intention, that you were able to get something from this. Until next time, peace. That's all I got.